Developed also a cooperation agreement whereby those conditions that cannot be, honored.
Seeking education or a better life in a completely Gambian community has been greatly recognized even by Turkish authorities.
Traditionally, we are peaceful people. Of course, we have under one umbrella, which is called the Gambian Association in the Republic of Turkey. And then we try to develop and engage also the Turkish authorities. Currently, the document has been processed, and it has now been submitted for the Turkish authorities to check and review.
Accessing proper documents is usually a major challenge for Gambians living abroad.
Coming in a country and you do not have access to the right documents also makes it very difficult for the travelers, and equally also on the side of the embassy also. But this is at least these documents are accessible. Sometimes it could be challenging, but then that is our work. We have to make sure that we try to do whatever we can to facilitate the access of gaining permits to Gambians.
And with the intervention of President in those areas,
we have been engaging the Turkish side also to be able to help and make sure Gambians resident in Turkey should be able to have access to the residence permit and also work permit. We have channeled this. I remember also when His Excellency President Barrow was here, issue also was discussed. And then when I was presenting my letters of credence also to the President of Turkey also, the same issue also was raised. And currently is now being...
Community in Turkey for being supportive to his embassy in carrying out their functions.
It's a very brilliant collaboration between the community and the embassy. Now we are working hand in hand to make sure that at least we try to present our brilliant ideas, our efforts to make sure at least at the end of the day Gambia, our country, will benefit.
Over 2,000 Gambians live in Turkey, some of whom are Farmer Abaji. GRTS News.
Now, the Ministry of Health and Development Partners held in Bijilo. The meeting seeks to build consensus and agreement on the draft policy for effective commitment to the implementation instrument. Usman Mane has more.
Partnerships is among the key driving force in the development of the health sector. The new health sector policy, 2021 to 2030, will help advance government's efforts to reduce the problems in the health sector, as well as provide guidance for the ministry in the significance of the policy.
This policy is expected to reform the health system by addressing the major traditional problems of health, the new and emerging and non-communicable diseases, by addressing major risk factors, including tobacco use, unhealthy diet, physical inactivity, works and alliances among health and non-health professionals, government, private sector, civil society, multiple development sectors, and communities in order to harness new technical
and social contract with the people, citing recent developments in the sector.
The formulation of the new national health policy is coming at a very good time in the history of this country. The health sector, it is coming at a time when the government is focusing on expanding and strengthening the healthcare infrastructure, when the government is thinking at a time when the government is making the provision of life-saving equipment to the health facilities a priority.
And Dr. Sam Mills of WHO and the World Bank, respectively, renewed their support to the health system, citing huge investment.
Until such a time, this policy is translated into concrete results that could change the lives and the well-being of the people.
The Ministry of Health has developed and costed the minor health centers, major health centers, the district hospitals, general hospitals, and the teaching hospital as well.
It is expected that the two-day convergence will create and support the implementation of the policy by all partners. Usman Mane, GRTS.
To the committee of the Banjul Cultural and Hunting Society at a handing ceremony held in the capital. As Janke Ture reports, the gesture is part of the government's support to the cultural sector.
With the aim to enhance the development of Banjul as a tourist destination, promote youth employment in the creative industry, among others, And as part of the committee of Banjul, the gesture, which is the third of its kind, explained the ministry's support towards the event.
Under the government of Adama Barrow in it. We can only do that when we nurture the past and maintain it and make sure we protect it, we preserve it, and we move forward with it. And that's why we believe it is fundamental for government also to come out and support you as a token gesture to promote unity among ourselves and national reconciliation. It's the key and the way forward. We are a small country. We are all interrelated. We are all the same. Both religion, both tribe, ethnic, to unite the people and move them forward. In this era, we need reconciliation. We need to nurture that spirit. And one of the ways we can do that is through these cultural activities.
According to Permanent Secretary Kodu Jaban Senghor of the Tourism and Culture Ministry,
the Odile Hunting Society, we have the Gunshot Hunting Society, we have Jollof Arts, Banjul Culture Hunting Society, Mid-East Hunting Society, and last but not the least, Banjul Cultural Committee.
The Director General, National Center for Arts and Culture, Hasum Sise, hailed the donation while explaining challenges in organizing such events.
From 20th event in Banjul, so that it will become like a landmark cultural event. Okay, and in 2019, it was pandemic. Last year also, it was very successful, and this year also we are looking forward to a very, very successful program.
Do the first.
Your taking of office, we have seen some support coming to Hunting Society to reach our goals.
The Cultural Festival, an event which attracts thousands of people to the capital city to witness performances of various Gambian masquerades and news.
Well, gardeners in Kunting and Sitokoto village in the Central River region are the latest to receive contract documents from the Resilience of Organizations for Transformative Smallholder Horticultural Production in the Gambia. Our regional correspondent, Mondula Minsane, has the details.
It's day 2 of the official handing over of gardens by Roots Project to vegetable growers in the Central River region. The first stop by agric officials implementing the resilience of organizations for transformative small project plans in drilling a borehole to ensure adequate water supply. Officials later handed over an agreement document outlining the role of contractors. This well is the only source of water, and sometimes it gets dry, which makes work very difficult for us. It has only 2 wells where gardeners draw water as it is captured in the full glare of our camera. A water project like this will significantly enhance production at this garden. Roots officials also traveled to the Nyanija community of Sitokoto, where a similar ceremony was accorded, handing work plans to the contractor and the community supported by solar. The project intends to drill a borehole here. It seeks to increase agricultural productivity in the Gambia with renewed focus to enhancing food and nutritional security. Modula Minsane reporting for GRTS News from the Central River region.
Now to the Upper River region, where officials of the Roots Project have signed a memorandum of understanding with the community of Sutukoba to support their work with women gardeners, supporting communities to enhance horticultural production. Our URR correspondent Seydou Kamara reports from Basse.
This 5-hectare garden was established by the NEMA project for the community of Sutukoba, of agricultural programs supporting communities, particularly women farmers, to realize their goals of large-scale vegetable production. Officials of the Roots Project, headed by the National Coordinator Mahmoud Aliou Diagne, signed a memorandum of understanding with the community of Sutukoba for the effective implementation of.
So the first thing we are doing is to try to render the garden operational by providing the water supply system, including storage. So specifically, this is a borehole. This is a solar-powered distribution system. Further to that, we will also provide a water storage tank. We are in the procurement.
Which outlined the role of the community, the contractor, and the project. whilst highlighting its significance to the community and its surroundings.
So once the garden infrastructure is completed of the beds and the provision of the inputs needed to produce roots, that is processing where the opportunity arises, but also marketing. So we will accompany them throughout the process. The idea, however, is to gradually wean them so they can take over position to be able to continue the process.
The Deputy Governor of the Upper River Region, S.I.J. Conte, described the signing to take ownership of the garden for its sustainability.
Roads coming in to, complement the effort or continue with the NEMA project that has phased out is a great. Ensure two things: to make sure the management aspect of it is being taken care of, and also the sustainability aspect of it. Because in most cases, there are a lot of projects that came into the...
Various community members, including women's leader Mama Jabai, all thank the Roots Project for actualizing their dream in making the 5-hectare garden functional. The signed MOU document includes for large-scale garden works. Seydou Camara, reporting for GRTS News from Basse, Upper River Region.
You're watching GRTS News live from Banjul. Long-awaited presidential election will not take place on Friday. The widely expected announcement was the first official statement on the vote's postponement. A notice from the body states that the caretaker government's term will still end. Reportedly, armed groups were deployed in the suburb of Libya's capital, Tripoli, on Tuesday as the country awaited the announcement. The surge of the Omicron variant across the continent. On Tuesday, Dr. Hans Klick said that Omicron has become the dominant variant in the UK, Denmark, and Portugal. He said the highly contagious strain will dominate coronavirus cases in more countries within weeks, further tasking the European healthcare system. Omicron has been detected in at least £30 billion in aid for its struggling hospitality sector.
19 infection rates continue to rise in the UK, pressures mounting on the government to take further measures to try and stop its spread, something that's not being...
following it hour by hour, and unfortunately I must say to people, we will have to reserve the possibility of taking further action to protect the public and to protect public health, to protect
cases. The UK is the worst affected country in Europe right now, but Omicron's spread is affecting much of the continent.
There is now consistent evidence, more likely that people who have been vaccinated or have recovered from COVID-19 could be infected or reinfected.
Could dictate any changes. Last year, a late U-turn saw many people unable to spend the day with their families, and any similar move could be politically damaging for a Prime Minister who's been mired in another year. But as the disruption continues, so too does the economic damage for businesses. The hospitality industry in the UK had been calling for clearer guidance from the government as trade dries up at one of the busiest times of year.
Firstly, we're announcing £1 billion in financial grant support, which means eligible hospitality companies will be able to claim a cash grant worth up to £6,000.
The financial help announced on Tuesday is all the signs indicate that even tougher restrictions could be on the way. Luigi Barkil, CGTN, London.
Aid to hospitals. A surge in Omicron has become the dominant variant in the country, amounting to 73% of new cases across the United.
Plan A, B and C are all being rolled together and rushed out just before the Christmas break here. Remember, just 2 weeks ago, the President and his staff were saying Omicron is not something we should be nation just a week before Christmas, even though the Thanksgiving holiday and all the travel in the third Thursday of November may have led to a huge surge of cases. They are not telling families to stay at home. What they are saying is get vaccinated for hospitals that may be overwhelmed, even though hospitalizations and deaths seem to be not rising very quickly, but we are lagging in this. And also rolling out. This was even dismissed at the White House press podium just 2 weeks ago after a question from journalists like, we're going to send all Americans kits. Well, they are planning to do that.
Private insurance will also cover at-home testing. So you can order a test online and get reimbursed. We're providing access to free at-home tests for those who may have insurance as well, may not have insurance, I should say, as well.
But what is a perception here politically, and we hate the fact that the COVID virus is political, but this is the United 100,000 dead Americans just marked just a week or so ago. When can it get to 1 million? Nathan King, CGTN at the White House.
Well, the members of the Sarahule Scholars Association who were at the presidency to congratulate the Gambian leader on his landslide election victory in partnership with its African allies and moving towards large-scale vegetable production. The Roots Project has launched an intensive borehole drilling scheme. It's named the final 28-man squad for next month's Nations Cup in Cameroon. Away from home, Libya's transitional efforts has faced major setback as the Middle Eastern Nation Parliamentary Committee says it is impossible for the country to hold Friday's election as planned. Well, that's all for this hour. It's been myself, Fatu Eli Kamloshi, from myself and the entire news team. Thanks for watching and